Hello, and welcome to my channel, Surviving the Narcissist. My name is Wanda, and I am a narcissistic abuse overcomer. I started as a victim, I went to a survivor, a thriver, now I'm an overcomer, and I want to help you overcome narcissistic abuse. This video is going to talk about gaslighting. And I'm going to start with gaslighting. And before I go further about gaslighting, for people that are exposed to a narcissistic family, person, co-worker, etc., this is a very challenging time of the year. It's known as hurricane season. It starts in Thanksgiving, starts on Thanksgiving. Christmas and New Year's is referred to as hurricane season because that is the time of year where you want to be around your family, you want to do things with your coworkers, and uh, the narcissistic abuse is rampant because the narcissists will weaponize anything and they take advantage of holidays. So we're going to talk a little bit about gaslighting. And I'm going to talk from a personal, a professional, and spiritual perspective. That's how this channel looks at narcissistic abuse. A gaslighting is a form of manipulation and it occurs in abusive relationships. It's a covert type of emotional abuse. And covert means that they're sneaky, they hide it, they're like a snake. And it's when the abuser or the narcissist, and when I say narcissist, I'm talking about narcissistic behavior because most narcissists don't have a diagnosis because they don't think anything is wrong with them, where they mislead the target and they create a false narrative and us, they try to make us question our judgments and reality. Ultimately, the goal is that you feel unsure about your perceptions, what, who, why, how, and you even wonder if you're crazy. So they make you question everything that you know. Well, maybe I didn't see that. Maybe that's not what it was. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe they're right. Gaslighting mostly occurs in romantic relationships, but it can also occur in other relationships. I'm the black sheep and the scapegoat of the family, so most of my narcissistic abuse happened within my family. But because I wasn't healed, I would attract the same type of work family, church family, my friends. And then I found that in those situations, I was being gaslit. The reason why people gaslight is to exert power and control to manipulate the target, the scapegoat, the black sheep. So, how to tell if somebody is gaslighting you? Some of the ways, and this is not the only way, because you have to realize that people's behaviors come from them or what's in them. So one narcissist's behavior may look different from the other. A narcissistic at work behavior would look different than a narcissist as your family and you live together and you're behind closed doors and you have a close relationship and you've known there all your life. Narcissistic behavior in a religious setting or a church looks differently because they're using your faith and your relationship with God. They're using God. They're using the Bible. But these are similar behaviors. lying to you. People who are gaslighters are habitual and pathological liars. You can't believe anything they say. Number one, they discredit you. You're wrong, they're right. They're always looking for things to discredit or to use against you. Another thing is gaslighting distracts you. They're distracting you because they just make up stuff out the clear blue sky. They may ask a question or they may turn things around on you responding to the issues at hand. If you ask them a direct question, they'll tell you a story. This is what had happened. Well, I didn't ask you what had happened. I asked you this question. Not only does it throw you off from your train of thought, it causes you to question whether it was important because they didn't feel like it was important enough for them to respond. Well, they were gaslighting you. They minimize your thoughts and feelings because only their feelings and thoughts are important. They shift the blame. Well, you say that I did so and so, you did so and so too. Well, we're not talking about me, we're talking about your behavior. Well, I remember last year when you lied. No, we're talking about that you lied 10 minutes ago. So they're always trying to shift the blame on you or the target, the scapegoat, the black sheep. They deny wrongdoing. They never did anything wrong. They're an angel. They perfect. They use compassionate words as weapon. They weaponize I love you. One time I heard somebody say that I can get somebody to do anything I want to if I tell them that I love you or you're beautiful or whatever, you're handsome, whatever. Compliments, flattering. The words may be what you want to hear, but they are lies. They're not authentic. They're to manipulate you. It's gaslighting. Rewriting history. A person who gaslights tends to retell stories in ways that are in their favor. Like I said, they never did anything wrong. They're always a victim. They never see the part that they played. And so the purpose of gaslighting is to make us doubt our feelings and reality. So when people say things and I'm like, well, that's not what I said. And that's not my feelings. That's what you said. You have to hold them accountable for what they said and what they did. The only thing I did was step in the trap that you set. Another thing is it makes you feel alone and powerless because you feel alone because narcissists have flying monkeys, or you feel powerless because everybody believes them and it's a smear campaign. You feel confused. You spend a lot of time apologizing. These are signs that you might be being gaslit. You're apologizing to them and they did you wrong. But because it's a form of manipulation, they lied. I wouldn't say that. They cried. I love you. You know I love you. Come here. And so you end up apologizing because, well, if somebody loves me and if they apologize, plus they cried, maybe it was me. Maybe it was me. You begin to second guess yourself. You wonder what's wrong with you. But what's wrong with me? They're such a nice, loving, kind. But wait a minute. If they're so loving and if they're so kind, why are they a pathological liar? So That's what keeps you in like an endless circle, or you keep going around the mountain, going around the same mountain. You struggle to make decisions because you don't trust yourself. Because gaslighting erodes your self-esteem. So when they get finished with you, you won't have anything. You won't have any peace. You won't have any joy. You won't have a mind. You won't have any money. You won't have any friends. You won't have any dreams. You won't have a vision because they strip you of everything because they want you to be totally dependent on them. So instead of you having a relationship with a God of your understanding or having spirituality, they're your God. You have to go to them for everything. So you don't know who you are because they have to tell you who you are. They have to tell you your visions. They have to tell you what to wear. They have to tell you what to do. They have to tell you where to go, who your friends are. If you identify with any of these signs of gaslighting, it's important that you seek help. And when you seek help, the person has to have knowledge of narcissism and narcissistic abuse. You have to have a coach or a counselor or whoever you go to for professional help that has a knowledge of narcissism. Because if they don't, they will cause more damage or it would be a dangerous situation. Because a lot of times they might say, oh, your mother wouldn't do anything like that. Your father wouldn't do anything like that. Your pastor wouldn't do anything like that. And they would send you back with not sound solutions, should I say. They would send you back to ask the person, well, we talked about gaslighting, and I told them, what was going on, and the coach or the counselor or whoever said, I should go back and talk to you. Because they couldn't believe that a mother would treat their child like that. So you're opening yourself up to more abuse and more gaslighting. Because, oh yeah, that person is right. I love you. I wouldn't do anything like that. Which is an endless cycle of gaslighting. And just to summarize we talked about what gaslighting is. We looked at gaslighting behavior and what gaslighting looks like. So, what to do if someone is gaslighting you? Some tips, some solutions. Gain some distance. It can be helpful to step back from the intense emotions that gaslighting can cause. Another thing is save the evidence. A lot of times when I was trying to identify if this person was gaslighting me, I would write it down in my journal. Because sometimes you always have the feeling that something's wrong. So I could pinpoint, I wrote down every time this person lied. I wrote down every time somebody tried to distract me. I wrote down every time somebody tried to control me. I wrote, and so I would keep, that would be my evidence. Because my narcissistic abuse primarily came from my family. And that's the only family that you have. So it's easy to go in denial when it's your family members. Set boundaries. Boundaries tell others what you are willing to accept and won't accept. No is a complete sentence. I don't have to explain why I told you no. Period. I didn't say that because just like one of the signs is they rewrite history. They'll say things that you said that you never said, and you have to be clear. I didn't say it. You said it. Right. I heard you say it, and I never said it. And then get an outside perspective. And an outside perspective is somebody that is healing from narcissistic abuse. Do not get another perspective from people that are still in the grips of a narcissistic relationship. They're in denial, betrayal, denial. Get a different perspective from a healthy person. And I can't stress that enough because narcissism um, impacts everything about a person. And so, just like I said, most of my relationships, whether with friends, whether with jobs, whether with the church, it was full of narcissists. And they were abusive, in my opinion. They weren't healthy for me. So you have to make sure that your outside perspective are healthy and that they're not narcissists. Um, and if you have to end the relationship, even though it's difficult to end a relationship, if someone repeatedly gaslights you, it's impacting your physical health, your emotional health, no peace, no joy. Well, the best thing to do may be to end the relationship or have, um, I would call it limited contact. If you don't want to go somewhere for Christmas, you don't have to go. If you say I'm just going to call you on Christmas, stick to that boundary. If they ask you why, because I'm making a decision to stay home for Christmas. I'm making a decision to go to the movies for Christmas. Don't explain to them because they're abusers. They use compassionate phrases. We love you. It's not going to be Christmas without you. Yes, it will. December the 25th comes every year. Whether I'm there, you're there, or anyone is there. December the 25th is Christmas, and January the 1st is New Year's. I appreciate your concern, but this is my decision. And until next time, use these tools to help you survive the narcissist.